Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Handmade Business Secrets podcast, and I want to talk to you today about building your business with the end in mind. Let's get started. Well, hey, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, be sure to check out the podcast when you're in your shop sanding, working. This is going to help you with your business. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, be sure to check out YouTube. I want to talk to you today about building your business with the end in mind. Now, some of you might build your woodworking business or your custom furniture business with the idea that, man, I'm going to do this forever, right? I love this. This is my passion. I'm going to do this forever. But most likely, your passions are going to change. Most likely, your seasons are going to change. Most likely, there's going to come a day where you're going to need to transition out of whatever it is that you're doing. Now, a lot of you might be watching this and you're thinking about transitioning out of your job into your woodworking business. But I want to talk to you about setting this up in a way so that one day, if you do feel led to transition into something else in your life, you've built your business so that it's now sellable. So most people that own businesses never sell businesses. I think only like 7% of businesses ever get sold, okay? And why is that? Because most businesses are not sellable. I want to talk to you first about just getting extremely clear on your short-term and your long-term goals in the business. What are my, and this is something that you need to do in your life in general. What are my goals the next 6 months? What are my goals the next year? What are my goals the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Where do I find myself at? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? And the reality is that most people never, ever even start here. They never think about or dream about or hope for what their world could look like. And so they kind of just they're drifters throughout life, right? They don't plan their life. They don't think. They don't proactively create in their life. And the reality is if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're creating something from nothing. You're taking a thought, you're creating a business, you're creating a product line, you're creating revenue, you're creating finances, money, right? But the reality is that if you don't get clear on your goals, you're not going to get there. So I want you to, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to pause this for just a moment and write down what do I want out of my life, out of my business, my hobby, my relationships, whatever that might be for you in the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Okay? 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And write a personal goal, a business goal, a relationship goal, because the scariest thing in the world to me, this is just me, is being the same person a year from now that I am today. I want to continually be stepping into better relationships, loving my wife better, loving my kids better, being a better father, better husband, being a better, I'm a full-time pastor, so being a better pastor to the people that God's entrusted me with, right? Being a better business owner, being a better consultant and coach. Like I'm constantly trying to refine how do I step more into my purpose, right? And so you have to get really clear on your short-term and long-term goals. But I want to talk to you about building your business with the end in mind. The reality is that in our specific industry, in our niche, cabinetry, custom furniture, anything that's wood related in general. Now, again, these are generalities, but if you've built a sellable business, and I'll talk to you about what a sellable business is in just a moment, but if you've built that, you can generally sell your business for 2 to 2.5 times what your net profit is each year. So let me simplify this for you. Let's say, for the sake of simplicity, that you build $1 million a year revenue business that nets $100,000 a year. This is an example for the sake of simplicity. You can sell that business most likely for $200,000 to $250,000. You can sell it anywhere between a 2 and 2.5 multiple of the net profit and half of gross revenue. So you're going to be able to sell it between the range of $200,000 to $500,000. And so Zach, is it going to be 200 or is it going to be 500? Again, it's going to come down to a couple of different things that you have going on inside your business or you don't have going on inside your business. So, but the reality is if you can create something that pays you $100,000 a year, or there's $100,000 a year in net profit. And what is net profit? It is what is left over after you've paid all employees, all overhead, and what the owner takes home and what's left in the bank account. You combine those two amounts of what's left in the bank plus what the owner takes home, and that's what your net profit is, okay? So if you can create something that pays you or creates $100,000 a year in net profit, you can sell it at a 2 to 2.5 times multiple. If you can create something that pays $200,000 a year, or that's how much money's left in the bank, you can sell it for $400,000 to $500,000. If you can create something that pays that there's $500,000 left in the business, you can take that $500,000 and you can turn that into $1 million to $1.5 million, or even more based on what your total overall revenue is as well. The idea is that you can sell at 2 to 2.5 times what's the net between that number and half of gross revenue. So, okay, Zach, so how do I know where I'm going to land? Okay. Well, here's what it takes to sell your business. Number one is it takes systems. You got to have systems inside your business that can run. So think for just a moment. If you are someone that has enough money to buy a business, okay, you have enough money to buy a business. Are you probably the type of person that wants to buy a business to go in and work in the shop in that business every day? No, that's not the kind of person that is. The kind of person that's buying businesses is somebody that they're thinking and they're creating leverage. And so I've talked about leverage a lot on the podcast before, but leverage is the fact that if I'm the one building it, then I'm trading my time for money. If I have employees that are building it and I'm running the business, that's a higher form of leverage, and the employees are actually creating the products. I'm just orchestrating the chaos, so to speak. But the highest form of leverage is that I just own it and I don't run it, right? I just own it. I make money from it every month. I draw a paycheck from it, but I'm not even hardly involved in it. I meet a couple times a month, or I have a weekly meeting, or I come in and I help solve problems, but I have an operator. I'm an outside entity helping to manage and run this business. And so you're going to have systems. You're going to have employees. You're not going to be able to build a business that's just you, and you might make $100,000 a year, $120,000 a year, but you don't have any help, any employees, any systems. And you probably, if it's just you, built your business off of your name. And that's another thing that limits sellability of a business if it's built around a strong personality. And this is kind of counterintuitive, because as you're trying to grow your business, I'm going to be telling you that you need to get in front of a camera. You need to build, because it's one of the greatest tools that you have when you're starting from nothing, when nobody knows you, likes you, trusts you. Your personality, your smile, your ability to connect with your customers on a one-to-one personal level is going to be one of the things that endears customers to you, right? But ultimately, if you want to sell your business, you have to create something that doesn't revolve around a personality or one single person. Ultimately, you need to play a minimal role in the business, because let's say that you're the owner of the business, but without you, the business doesn't run. Most likely, someone else doesn't want to buy that business, most likely. Now, granted, there might be somebody that does, but you want to create a business that's highly sellable because you have been able to remove yourself from it. How do you remove yourself from it? You hire accordingly. You hire for the roles that are needed inside the business, okay? And so most people aren't super interested in buying a job. People that buy businesses in general want to buy an asset that produces cash flow for them, that they aren't having to be there on a day-to-day basis, okay? So for you to sell your business, it's going to have to become that for you, okay? And the reality is that when your business is most sellable is probably when you don't want to sell it, because it's rocking and rolling, right? You're killing it. And what you don't want to do is wait too long and you're experiencing the highs and the lows in the marketplace, and you're selling because you're panicking because things aren't going your way. I want to talk to you today about how to build with the end in mind. And so one of the greatest resources that I can give you is a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It's probably my favorite business book of all time, and because it just blew my mind. And it talks about how to build a business that's highly sellable, and it talks about how to hire and fire for your business and how to scale your employees. Okay, so for right now, let's say you're watching this, it's just you in your garage and you're building stuff trying to sell it. Well, that's not very scalable. It's not very scalable. You're not going to be able to generate a lot of traction with that. So you got to figure out, okay, how do I start growing? Well, number one, we always start with sales. We start with sales. That's how you start growing. I got to generate sales. And just a quick plug, if that's you, you're currently doing between $2,000 and $10,000 a month, you want to grow and scale your business, you don't know how, come talk to me, click on the link below, fill out the Woodworking Business Accelerator application to become one of my coaching clients, because I come in and I help you scale in 2x, 5x, 10x over the next 120 days. And it's a really small, in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small financial investment to get started with me, okay? Money back guarantee, check it out, okay? But let's say you're trying to grow. Well, we got to increase sales. Well, now that I've got more sales, I can't fulfill all the sales myself. So that's when I've got to hire a helper in the shop, okay? Well, now I'm continuing to increase sales. Okay, well, now there's enough going on, enough moving parts that I'm going to remove myself from the shop entirely, replace myself in the shop, and now I'm just managing customer service, sales, ordering, materials, etc. Okay, now there's so much going on that I'm not even keeping up with that. I have to focus on this or focus on that. So I'm hiring a delivery driver. I'm hiring someone to manage the orders. I'm hiring someone to do the sales, right? And so that's how you start removing yourself out of the business. You get to higher and higher forms of leverage. And so that's it. That's the podcast today. I wanted to just talk to you about how to build with the end in mind, how to sell your business. So again, if this is beneficial to you, if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, like it, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how this has helped you, where you're currently at in your woodworking business, what your goals are. Man, I would love to just connect with you and hear from you. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I love you so much. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you on the next one.